You ever stand in an airport, watching the plane you were supposed to be on roll away, and wonder if the world just decided to single you out for a lesson in humility? That was me, Colonel Robert Bobby Nash, standing at Gate 47 in Denver, my flight to D.C. Drifting down the runway, the gate agent's smirk burned into my memory. "Sorry, sir, but medals don't buy first-class seats," she'd said, and 9 minutes later I was left with nothing but my phone lighting up with calls from the Pentagon and a heavy sense that maybe, just maybe, some battles are fought at 30,000 feet below sea level, in the trenches of bureaucracy, not on the battlefield. The chaos of Denver International Airport felt almost organized, the way only people who haven't seen real chaos can organize it. I glanced at my boarding pass one last time, out of habit, not hope. At 52, I carry myself with the kind of quiet confidence that comes from leading men through situations nobody thought they'd survive. My dress blues were perfect, ribbons and medals exactly where they belonged, but none caught the eye quite like that blue ribbon with white stars around my neck, the Medal of Honor. You can't miss it, and trust me, people don't. I was headed to Arlington for a funeral. Not just any funeral, alas, goodbye, for Sergeant Marcus Williams, my old platoon sergeant, the man who literally took bullets for me in Fallujah 18 years ago. Ceremony starts at 8 sharp tomorrow. That 3:15 flight was my only chance to be there on time. Maybe that's why I booked first class, yeah? You can call it splurge, but a few hours of quiet before facing Marcus's family, especially his kids, seemed like the least I could do. Some costs are worth it. You know what I mean? Denver's crowds bustled past, oblivious to the story behind the uniform. I moved at my own pace. Combat teaches you that rushing gets people hurt. My journey started as a green kid from rural Montana, 18 years old. Family tradition, more hope than sense. 28 years later, I wear silver eagles, command respect from generals, but I never forgot what it felt like to be far from home, scared, wishing someone would have my back. That medal came from Fallujah, 2006. My platoon walked into an ambush, 3 men gone in the first half minute. I made 7 runs across open ground to drag the wounded out, each one feeling longer than the last. My citation reads like a movie script, but all I remember is fear, sweat, and Marcus Williams covering my 6th run and catching bullets meant for me. He lived, but the wound stuck around. 12 years of pain, PTSD, and wrestling with a VA system that sometimes feels designed to wear you down. Tomorrow's funeral, that was my last chance to say thanks, to make sure his kids knew what their father meant to men like me. And I paid full price for that first-class seat, no military discount. No special treatment, just wanted to do right by a brother. So when gate agent Jennifer Walsh, all 26 years of her, told me my reservation had been flagged, it didn't feel like an accident. I handed over my pass and eyed polite as always. "Ma'am, I have a confirmed first-class seat. Is there a problem with my documentation?" She barely looked at it. "Your military discount doesn't cover first class, sir. The thing is, I didn't use a discount. Ma'am, I paid the full fare 3 weeks ago." She didn't care. Medals don't buy first-class seats. People started to notice the uniform, the tone, the tension. Phones came out. Drama draws an audience. I stayed calm, tried to explain, even offered to show the receipt on my phone. She refused. "Take coach or find another flight." That door closed with a hiss. Am I see the one I'd earned with a credit card? Not a medal left without me. Now, you might think it's just a flight. But let me tell you, standing there, thinking about Marcus in a flag-draped coffin, waiting on brothers who might not make it, because some policy robot decided respect is optional that hits harder than shrapnel. I survived mortars and machine guns only to get tripped up by someone's petty power trip. My phone buzzed. Marcus's widow. "Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow, Colonel. Marcus always said you'd move heaven and earth for your men." God, that stung. The next flight wasn't until after the funeral. Suddenly, this wasn't a travel headache. It was a betrayal. I went back to the counter, this time with all the determination I'd brought to bear in the worst parts of Iraq. "Ma'am, I need to speak with your supervisor." Jennifer didn't even look up. "Sir, policy is policy." The crowd, gruesome, recognized the Medal of Honor from TV. I pulled up my reservation. Full payment, no discount. Jennifer glanced for 3 seconds, shook her head. Our system says otherwise. Call customer service. The kind of delay designed to make you give up. But this wasn't negotiable. I need to speak to someone with real authority. She bristled. Sir, I'm the authority at this gate. If you don't like our policies, fly another airline. The challenge hung between us, and you could feel the tension shift in the air. You know, sometimes you play by the rules. Sometimes you call in reinforcements. I scrolled my phone to a number I hadn't dialed in 2 years. General Patricia Hawkins, now chairman of the Joint Chiefs. 2 rings. Bobby Nash, she answered, voice crisp as ever. I laid it out. Stranded, denied boarding, missing Marcus's funeral. There was silence. Then, Colonel, are you telling me someone's stopping a Medal of Honor recipient from honoring a fallen soldier? Yes, ma'am. Stand by. This is about to change. Jennifer started to notice the shift. 8 minutes ticked by, intense, silent. Suddenly, every departure screen flashed. All aircraft movement suspended by federal order. Jennifer's computer chimed. Her face went pale. Through the windows, black SUVs raced across the tarmac. Agents in dark suits flashed federal credentials. Passengers murmured, phones out, the whole airport watching. Her supervisor arrived, looking like she'd aged 10 years in 30 seconds. Homeland Security agents stepped up. MS. Walsh, we need to discuss your interaction with Colonel Nash. Her defenses crumbled when they produced my receipt. Full payment. No discount. No mistake except hers. The regional manager arrived, apologies tripping over each other. We're reinstating your reservation and granting you complimentary first class for life. I told him, I don't want free flights. I want to know no other service member faces this kind of disrespect. They promised changes, training, all the usual lines. Jennifer cleared her desk out half an hour later, the video of her smugness going viral, making her a symbol of everything wrong with how we treat our veterans. Flight 1847 came back under federal escort, and as I boarded, the passengers who'd watched the whole thing broke into applause. I took my seat not out of privilege, but because I refused to accept less than respect for those who serve. The next morning at Arlington, as the honor guard folded Marcus's flag, my mind wandered back to that gate. Colonel, Marcus always said you'd move heaven and earth for your soldiers. Yesterday proved him right. I accepted the flag for Marcus's kids, thinking some battles never end. The fight for dignity, for simple respect, doesn't stop when you hang up the uniform. You know, that whole incident at the airport revealed a bigger problem. Most people claim to support the troops, but when it comes down to the little moments like a funeral or a flight, it's easy to look away. Medals aren't just jewelry. They're a reminder of sacrificing stories most people never hear, pain most never feel. Service doesn't end with retirement, and neither does the duty to stand up when a system gets it wrong. Sometimes, moving heaven and earth is as simple as making the right call. Honor isn't just about what you've done, but what you're still willing to do for others. So tell me, where do you stand when the system gets it wrong? Is respect earned, given, or only remembered when it's convenient? Drop your thoughts below, because honestly, this conversation is one America needs to have. If you think dignity and service matter, or if you've ever faced something like this, share your story. Let's keep this dialogue alive.